All right, YouTube, what's good, man? Hey, man, say, man, this is a reaction request. It's titled "When Samuel L. Jackson Declared War on Snakes at 3,000 Feet." Snakes on the Plane. This was from someone. What's the guy name? Jutsu or Chi Jitsu, something like that. I don't really know for real, but this was a reaction request sent to me. Uh, and they wanted me to react to it. It's 16 minutes long, so you feel me? If you got some snacks or you got some food, you feel me? You trying to eat, man? Go ahead and get your food ready, cause we're gonna watch this whole thing through. And just a disclaimer, just so y'all know, as of right now, uh I don't have YouTube Premium right now, unfortunately, but I'm working to that. I'm gonna get that pretty soon. I'm working towards that. So if an ad do pop up, I do apologize ahead of time. But yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and get into this reaction and see what it's talking about.
You ever have one of those movie titles that just tells you everything you need to know? No cryptic metaphors, no artsy symbolism, just boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
This one I'm snacking
Snakes
on.
on a plane. That's it. That's the pitch. And somehow, this wasn't a fake movie inside another movie. Hollywood actually looked at the title and said,
Damn, what is that, bro?
Hey, yo.
yeah, here's 30 million. Make it happen. So let's set the scene. We're in Hawaii, which means palm trees,
What the
ocean
hell?
waves, and tourism brochures trying real hard to make you forget this is also where hurricanes, volcanoes, and overpriced Mai Tais live. Our main guy right now is Sean Jones, a regular dude out here living his best surfing life.
I'm just a regular, everyday, normal motherfucker.
He catching waves, not a care in the world, until he wipes out and paddles his way into a nightmare. Because while Sean's looking for his board, he hears that sound, the sound of a man getting absolutely folded in a way that has nothing to do with ocean currents. He heads inland and stumbles onto a crime scene in progress, a mob boss named Eddie Kim standing there like he auditioning for Hawaiian Shirt Mafia, just beating a man with a pipe like it's a team sport. And Sean, yeah, he's the only witness. Now here's the thing about mob bosses in movies. They can be halfway across the world, but if you see them commit a crime, your lifespan drops faster than your phone battery on 1%. Eddie Kim spots Sean, and boom, Sean's now public enemy number one. Cut to later that night, Sean's chilling in his apartment doing the "I'm just gonna pretend nothing happened" thing, when suddenly the door explodes inward. Thugs rush in swinging weapons ready to turn Sean into a cautionary tale, but before they can finish,
Bruh, chat, no cap. I didn't watch this movie in so long, right? Because I have seen it before, but I didn't watch this movie in so long. I really don't know what he's talking about. No cap. Like, did this really happen all in this movie? I thought the whole movie took place on the plane. Did that not happen? Did all this really happen, chat? Because I honestly did not know this. Don't remember none of this. But hey, man, let's get back into the reaction, man.
him off, in comes the man, the myth, the leather jacket legend, FBI agent Neville Flynn, aka Samuel L. Jackson, aka the reason half the audience even showed up. Flynn saved Sean in the most Samuel L. Jackson way possible by making it clear that A, he is in charge now, and B, Sean has exactly zero say in what's about to happen. And what's about to happen is a whole lot of witness protection junk, because Sean is the only guy who can put Eddie Kim behind bars. The plan? Simple. Fly Sean from Hawaii to Los Angeles so he can testify in court. The method? Not so simple. A commercial flight packed with innocent passengers, because apparently the FBI looked at an international crime boss with infinite resources and said, yeah, we'll just wing it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where the plane part of the Snakes on a Plane starts forming.
Oh,
Somewhere,
okay.
somehow, someone on Eddie Kim's payroll gets the idea that instead of using guns, bombs, or literally anything else, they're gonna load the aircraft with hundreds of venomous snakes. Not one snake, not a crate of snake, hundreds. The kind of number that makes you ask, where do you even order that many snakes from? Amazon Prime? But before we even get there, we're boarding this flight, and as we all know, in disaster movies, boarding the plane is where you meet your victim lineup. I mean, supporting cast. We've got the germaphobe rapper and his two hype men, the sweet elderly couple, the nervous first-time flyer, the Paris Hilton knockoff with a tiny dog in her purse, the kids flying solo, and
Hey.
a pilot who's about 2 years away from retirement and probably thought today was going to be just another routine shift. Everyone's settling in, bags going overhead, flight attendants giving the safety spiel nobody listens to, and lurking somewhere deep in the cargo hold is an entire zoo worth of bad decisions waiting to happen. So the plane takes off from Honolulu, climbing into the sky like it's just another calm, smooth ride to LA. Samuel L. Jackson's Agent Flynn is sitting there doing that FBI thing where you pretend to be relaxed, but you're actually scanning every single person like you're already picturing how they look in the mugshot. Sean's next to him, still trying to process how 12 hours ago, he was just a guy on a surfboard, and now he's basically in the opening credits of a crime documentary. The passengers are doing their thing too. The rappers taking selfies with the crew, the rich girls yapping into her flip phone. Yes, this is 2006, making sure everyone knows she's miserable in first class. The nervous flyer is already too many bottles deep into liquid courage, and the pilots, they're up in the cockpit chatting about tailwinds like they're literally in the first act of a horror movie. Meanwhile, and this is where the movie earns its title, deep in the cargo hold, timers start going off on a big, suspicious crate. This is Eddie Kim's masterpiece of chaos. Hundreds of venomous snakes from all over the world crammed into one box. Cobras, vipers, pythons. Well, those aren't really venomous, but they'll strangle your noggin. Basically a reptile house that's failed at all its safety inspections. The timer hits 0, the crate bursts open, and out pours a slithering wave of pure nightmare fuel. These snakes don't wait for subtlety. They start making their way up through the walls, the vents, the undercarriage, and in the kind of scene that makes you swear off flying in nature at the same time, they slither straight into the plane's electrical systems. Lights flicker and air vents rattle, and somewhere in first class, a lady's thinking, wow, that's a weird smell, without realizing she's about to have a front row seat to hell. The first victims, a couple who snuck into the plane's bathroom to, let's say, get to know each other better, you know? Because yes, the Mile High Club exists in disaster movies purely so characters can be the first to die. The snakes come up through the walls and boom, instant chaos. No warning, no just venom and screaming.
Hey, no cat though, chat. Like, it's always like movies where it's like people just basically like having sex, like right if it's in the beginning of the movie or whatever the case may be. But it's like always the people that's having sex or like just doing some shit they're not supposed to be doing, basically, right? Just on some random shit. They always end up dying first in like type of movies. Like, you feel me? Like, just say like Friday the 13th, for instance, when the movie kicked off, niggas having sex, niggas died, literally. Like, that shit crazy.
Back in the cabin, turbulence hits, but this time it's not weather. It's the snakes moving through the structure of the plane. A flight attendant heads to check things out, peeks into the lower galley, and almost jumps out of her skin when a thick, scaly body slides past her ankles. She screams, trips, and that's when the first snake lunges. It's quick, brutal, and the kind of moment where you can hear the audience collectively clutch their legs. Now the snakes aren't hiding anymore. They're about to get it out the mud. They're spilling into aisles like it's feeding time at the pet store. A little kid sees one and points, and before he can even process, a passenger gets bit in the neck. That's it. The calm is over. Instant mass panic. People are climbing over seats. Drinks are flying. The Paris Hilton knockoff's tiny dog is barking like it knows it's about to be appetizer number 1. Agent Flynn jumps into action, yelling for the people to stay calm, which is hilarious, matter of fact, because nobody in history has ever stayed calm when a 6-foot snake is on their tray table. Right. He and the flight crew start herding people away from the worst of it, but the problem is the snakes are everywhere, under the seats, in the overhead compartments, even dropping from the ceiling. And just when you think it can't get worse, one of the snakes slithers into the cockpit. The pilots hear a hiss, turn around, and yeah, that's not a bird strike. That's a cobra. The cobra in the cockpit doesn't waste any time. It lunges its fangs out, and the co-pilot barely gets his arm up in time. Bad news, snake bites don't care about seniority. He gets tagged, yells in pain, and suddenly the whole smooth flight thing is out the window. The pilot tries to keep control while also trying to not get bit himself, which, as you might imagine, is not the FAA's recommended procedure. Back in the cabin, it's a full-on reptilian apocalypse. The snakes are going for anything that moves, legs, arms, necks, and even one unlucky dude's tongue when he screams at the wrong time. People are tripping over each other. Flight attendants are trying to use the little beverage carts as barricades. And somewhere in this chaos, the tiny dog. Yeah, just say nature took its course. Paris Hilton knockoff is now screaming in a way that says emotional support animal. Just turned into some snake munchies. Flynn's in pure problem solving mode. He grabs anything he can use as a weapon. Golf club, fire extinguisher, serving trays, and starts laying out snakes like he's a one-man airport security demo. Sean's trying to help, but it's clear that this is Flynn's show now. The man's moving through the cabin like a TSA agent who really hates reptiles. Meanwhile, the passenger's personality starts showing under pressure. The germaphobe rapper is trying to stand on his seat, rapping about not getting bit like it's gonna intimidate the snakes or something. The nervous flyer is frozen, clutching onto the armrest like that'll stop the venom. The sweet old couple is actually tougher than they look, smacking snakes with anything they can grab. And the kids flying solo, they're getting shuffled towards the back by the flight attendant who's clearly rethinking her career choices. One of the snakes dropped from the ceiling onto the beverage cart, knocking over soda cans. It lands right in the passenger's lap, and he jumps up so fast he takes the snake and the tray table with him. Flynn yells for everyone to get to the upstairs section because yes, this is one of those 2-story planes, and the survivors start making a break for it. In the middle of all this, the co-pilot's bite is getting worse. He's sweating, losing focus, and trying to keep the plane level. The captain's trying to call for help, but the snakes are literally crawling over the instrument panel like they're trying to fly the plane themselves. Then it happens. One of the larger snakes, a full-grown python, drops into the aisle. This thing is massive. I'm talking gigantic.
It's Gigantinosaurus, whatever you say, Gigantosaurus, Gigantinosaurus.
Moving with that slow, I don't need to rush because I'm an apex predator energy. People are backing up, screaming as it starts wrapping around the unlucky passenger. Flynn dives in, hacking at the python until it loosens its grip, but the guys already went noodle, straight limp. Everywhere you look, it's chaos. Blood on the seats, luggage tumbling down, snakes wrapping around headrests. It's the kind of scene that makes you wonder how the movie hasn't ended yet, because this looks like a game over situation.
Like
but
what?
Flynn, he's not giving up. He yells for the upstairs hatch to be sealed off, which is great for the people who made it up there, but bad news for anyone still stuck down below. And yeah, a lot of people still stuck down below. Upstairs, the surviving passengers are catching their breath, but it's not like they can relax. You can still hear the hissing and screaming from the deck below. Flynn checks on the co-pilot, and yeah, that man's not making it to LA without serious medical attention. His arm done swole up to Thanksgiving turkey levels. His breathing is shallow, and he starts losing consciousness. That leaves exactly one pilot keeping this gigantic metal tube from becoming a fireball in the Pacific. The captain's doing his best, but he's rattled. He tells Flynn they need to get control of the cabin or the whole plane's at risk. Flynn nods like, don't worry, I've handled worse. Which is funny because, no, you haven't. Nobody has. Down below, the snakes are still slithering through vents and baggage compartments, claiming victims one by one. A couple tries to sneak toward the stairs, but a snake drops from the ceiling and nails the guy right in the face. His partner freezes and then bolts, only to get taken out by a viper on the floor. It's like the snakes planned this, and honestly, at this point, they might as well have. Flynn decides they need to push the snakes back, seal them off completely, and maybe thin the numbers before they try anything else. He grabs a stun gun from the emergency kit, duct tapes it to a long pole, and then starts zapping anything with scales. The rapper still standing on the seat upstairs shouts, "Yo, that's cold!" every time a snake twitches from the shop. Then Flynn spots the ventilation system. The snakes are using it as their personal subway line to get everywhere on the plane. If they can block it off, they can keep the upper deck safe. So Flynn and the flight attendant start yanking off vent covers and jamming it with whatever they can find. Jackets, blankets, even the rich girl's designer scarf. She complains, but then Flynn gives her the look like, lady, it's the scarf or you. And
Right.
of course she hands it over. They manage to hold the snakes back for a while, but the captain's voice cuts in over the intercom. The other pilot's out cold, straight knocked, and they're gonna need someone to help land this thing. That's when the germaphobe rapper steps up. Turns out he's played a lot of flight simulator games, and right now, that makes him the closest thing to a co-pilot they've got. That's when Flynn comes up with the plan. The only way to deal with this is to flush the entire cabin, which means opening the emergency mid-flight and letting the pressure difference do the work. Everyone thinks he's insane, and okay, maybe a little, but at this point, it's either try it or hope the snakes get bored, and snakes don't get bored. So Flynn lays out the plan to the passengers. They're gonna strap themselves into anything that's bolted down, open the door, and let the snakes get sucked out into the sky. It's risky, it's loud, it's borderline impossible, but when the alternative is getting eaten alive at 30,000 feet, suddenly everyone's on board. Flynn heads towards the door, checks the latch, and you can see it, that little twitch in his eye that says the line is coming. He turns back toward the cabin, and with all the righteous fury of a man who's had enough nonsense for one lifetime, he screams out, I've had it with these mother-freaking snakes on this mother-freaking plane.
He said it! He said it!
Instantly, the cabin's energy shifts. People are hyped. Even the rapper starts shouting, yeah, get him! Get them snakes. The snakes, they don't care. They're still slithering forward. Flynn pops the emergency latch and the plane goes from loud to jet engine inside a hurricane in half a second. Loose items going flying, seatbelt strained, a food cart rockets past like a missile, and the snakes, yeah, they start yeeting out the door one by one, tails flapping in the wind as they get launched into the stratosphere. Some snakes hang on longer, coiling around seats, latching onto passengers, but Flynn moves down the aisle like he's personally escorting each one out. A python tries to wrap around his leg. He boots it into the blue like a soccer ball. And then one especially stubborn cobra, he just straight up punches it in the head like one of those Indian dudes before it loses grip and gets vacuumed out into oblivion. Finally, the cabin is clear. Flynn slams the door shut and the pressure stabilizes. The passengers are wide-eyed, sweaty, flabbergasted, and half in disbelief because they're still alive. Upstairs, the captain's voice cracks over the intercom. They're starting their descent into LA, but they need Flynn in the cockpit for backup. Flynn heads up, takes a seat next to the captain, and they begin what might be the most stressful landing since human flight was invented.
Bro,
The
what's up with all these
germaphobe
Shannon
rapper
songs?
still in there in the co-pilot's chair, sweating like a man who just realized flight simulators don't have a snake attack mode. Air traffic control is guiding them, but the turbulence is real, and the plane's been getting hold this whole time. Somehow by sheer willpower and maybe divine intervention, they get the wheels down. The plane screeches across the runway, finally coming to a shaky stop. Sirens wail outside and emergency crews swarm the aircraft. Flynn and Sean are the first off, breathing that sweet, snake-free air. Paramedics rush in to help the injured, passengers stumble out, and somewhere in the chaos, the rapper is already telling TMZ he just saved the flight. Nigga capping. Sean thanks Flynn for, literally saving his life. Flynn gives a small nod, cause he not big on long speeches, unless they involve creative profanity. And as the credits roll, we get one last bit of pure Samuel L. Jackson energy. Calm now, but if he ever sees a snake again, it's gonna regret existing. JMF, thanks for all the support on the videos lately. Y'all already know we got the best community.
Dang. Nah, that was a decent little, you feel me? That was a decent little video right there, chat, no cap. Appreciate that recommendation to the person that sent me that. Excuse me. That definitely was, a good video and stuff like that. Like I said, I didn't really remember Snakes on the Plane too much because I didn't watch it in I don't know how long I ain't watched that joint. You feel me? But yeah, man, y'all got any other reaction requests? Of course, you know what to do. Hit me up in my DMs or send it to me. Through chat. You can put it in the chat, whatever the case may be, man. Put it in the comments of the video. Just however you want to do it, however you want to send it, get that request through of what you want me to react to. And yeah, man, we're gonna react to it. You feel me? But yeah, that's gonna be it for this reaction. W reaction, W video, W request. And yeah, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, like and sub chat. And yeah, let's do it, man. Let's go.